The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and on Love 99.5 in Kumasi and on myjoyonline.com. We are also live on all 16 regions of Ghana on Radio Sangmale in Wa, Jubilee Radio in Keta and Bupe FM in Bupe. We are also live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Coming up,
rejecting completely the notion that Ghana was founded by one man. Whilst Kwame Nkrumah's contributions are undeniable and unassailable, was a collective effort.
As the controversy stoked by President Akufo-Addo lingers on, NDC flag bearer John Mahama vows to reinstate Republic Day as a holiday, challenging Akufo-Addo's Founders' Day designation, more as he accuses the president of attempting to rewrite Ghana's history.
They've come to take the holiday from July 1st and gone to put it on August 4th, which is the day the UGCC was founded. When we come to August, we'll rectify those things. July 1st will be a holiday again.
We have more as the CPP insists no amount of rejection by President Akufo-Addo can change the fact that is known to the whole world.
This debate about Nkrumah at times I find a little bit distressing because nothing can be said to denigrate the man.
For as long as Republic Day remains, Kwame Nkrumah will be remembered because Republic Day was created by Nkrumah and not J.B. Danko, so he has to take it off.
Plus, we bring you a letter to the founder on this day by playwright and author Korle-Bu.
Dear founder, I write to inform you that we have made a mess of the nation you helped give birth. Yes, we honor you today with a holiday, but we dishonor your legacy every day. Please forgive us for making nonsense of the heritage you left for us.
Also in our Drive Safe campaign today, we'll take you on a tour to some of the most dangerous intersections and roads in the capital, where drivers have to navigate in pitch darkness with no road markings.
You realize that the rest of the street lights are not working. So after the third street light that I counted, we are still in front of the Jubilee House and all these lights are not working.
We hear from the National Road Safety Authority and engineers who say it is time to prioritize the safety of motorists.
It's an unfortunate situation we are experiencing, but that's how we found it. As a nation, I don't think we have safety as part of our culture. We setting down, people are dying unconcerned.
In sports,
Team Ghana switches focus to 4x1 relay as Azamati and Abdul Rashid Samin were unsuccessful in their attempts to make the 100 meters Olympic final.
Well, from that we go to Wa, where season 2 of the biggest culinary TV show in Ghana, Big Chef Tertiary, is finally here. We'll take you there for the very first audition, which is currently ongoing. I am Hannah Odame. Thanks for staying with us. As the controversy stoked by President Akufo-Addo on Founders' Day lingers on, the National Democratic Congress (NDC) has served notice it will revert to celebrating 1st July as a holiday instead of the 4th August, which was instituted by the President Akufo-Addo-led administration. Speaking during his tour in the Upper East region, flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, said Ghanaians will resist the attempt to rewrite the country's history. President Akufo-Addo, in his address to the nation over the weekend, stated he completely rejects the notion that Ghana was founded by one person.
I speak to you this evening, rejecting completely the notion that Ghana was founded by one man. Whilst Kwame Nkrumah's contributions to our independence are undeniable and unassailable, it is important to acknowledge for our self-respect that the struggle for our nation's freedom was a collective effort spanning several generations. The formation of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, the British West African National Congress, jointly sponsored by Joseph Casely Hayford and Thomas Hatton Mills, the United Gold Coast Convention.
Well, former President Mahama also rejects President Akufo-Addo's assertion. His comments are captured in Maxwell Agbagbe's wrap-up of Day 2 of John Dramani Mahama's tour of the Upper East region.
On the second day of his tour of the Upper East region, the NDC flag bearer visited the Binduri, Zibila, Nabdam, and Bolgatanga East constituencies, bringing the number to 8 in 2 days.
We are going to let the headmasters be responsible for procuring food for their students because we want the students to have nutritious meals. We cannot wait for the national food buffer stock to bring food before our children eat.
In the Zebila constituency, he accused politicians of politicizing the Boko conflict, promising to ensure long-lasting peace if the NDC is elected back to power.
Anytime NDC is in government, Boko is at peace. Unfortunately, as soon as NDC leaves government, the Boko crisis flares up again. Let nobody say it's a fight between ethnic groups. There is politics behind it, and there are people who deliberately fund that crisis. I said when NDC comes, we're going to prioritize Boko's peace so that peace will return to Boko.
Speaking during the community engagement event in the Bolga East constituency, he criticized the governing MPP for what he describes as attempts to rewrite Ghana's history. He says the future NDC government will reinstate 1st July as a holiday.
Apart from destroying our economy, one of the things this government wants to do is to rewrite our history, and we shall not allow them to rewrite our history.
Well, the Convention People's Party, in an earlier statement, also criticized the president for his position, insisting the whole world knows who the Osajefo is and no amount of rejection by the president can change that. Let's hear from former UN governance advisor Professor Bafo Ajimandua and the de facto candidate for the CPP, who is also a lawyer, Frimpong Yao Anochi. They spoke on the AM show on the Joy News channel.
Nkrumah was the dominant person who drove the country towards independence. There's no question about that. That's why I say, look, this debate about Nkrumah at times I find a little bit distressing because nothing can be said to denigrate the man. Nothing can bring him down. You have to go to the roots of our independence search in terms of the relationship that developed between Nkrumah and the colleagues on the UGCC. That bitterness is what has eaten and perhaps blinded some people from even recognizing his achievement.
Including the president, yes. Akufo-Addo. For as long as Republic Day remains remembered, Kwame Nkrumah will be remembered because Republic Day was created by Nkrumah and not J.B. Danko, so he has to take it off. For as long as the OAU Day or AU Day, 25th March, will be celebrated, Nkrumah too will be celebrated, so take it off. For as long as the 2 CD note printed by Mills with the Nkrumah's effigy on it, would every morning he would see it. He had to take it off because it didn't include his uncle J.B. Danko. And then go to the Liberation Circle. Yeah. You see, African Liberation Circle in Accra. And there was a very big plaque with all the founding fathers of the OAU. They've removed it. And so when you do things like this, what shows that the next government would not come and then undo things at the cost of the nation. You see,
Vice President of Imani Ghana, Salom Brante, and Democracy and Development Fellow at the CDD, Kwame Sapong-Esiedu, have also been sharing their views on the matter. First, Salom, who says history must not be changed to satisfy the interest of a few.
Kwame Nkrumah is the one who basically fought for that entity to exist, together with allies in the CPP and the people of Ghana at that time. So while a lot of work had been done by others, I believe that trying to displace the influence of Nkrumah and his activity, and note that even when the elections were being done, he had been jailed. He was in jail. Yet he won. There was only one person who triggered the advocacy for self-government now. There was one person who was sent to jail for that argument. There was that one person who triggered a whole national response that pushed the colonial administration to actually grant us that self-government now. He said we wanted it now. He took the action. He talked the talk. Others didn't. Others actually wrote and they were saying that this man was saying nonsense. People who should have gathered around him didn't. And now you want them to also share in that glory for opposing him or for what? History is history. Let's not try to change what is there to satisfy somebody's family reputation or whatever it may be.
Now, Kwame Sapong-Esiedu backs Mr. Mahama's promise to reinstate 1st July as a republic holiday.
If you then tell me or ask the question, what are we going to do with these days? I'll take you back to Ghana from 1957, 6th of March, to 1st of July 1960, when the first republic was promulgated. Were we having this conversation? It is only when government changed hands in 2017 and people tried apocryphally to bring in certain dates to please others that this conversation became an issue. So I think the easiest way would to revert to the status quo, because the evidence is clear and there. And that is why, for me, we should revert to the status quo and respect how Ghana came to be. Get rid of a lot of these holidays because they are economically even unproductive. We are struggling as a country. We are broke as anything. And we have these holidays unnecessarily to glorify people who contributed little or next to nothing to what is Ghana today. I never said they didn't contribute to the liberation of the people who lived in the Gold Coast. No, I am talking about Ghana. And we glorify them with these days. That is what should change. And we can put these days to more productive use.
Well, author and playwright Korle-Bu shared this food for thought on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM earlier this morning.
Dear founder, first of all, I write to inform you that we have made a mess of the nation you helped give birth to. I'm sure that when you risked your life to fight for freedom and justice for the Gold Coast, which became Ghana, you had dreams and a vision of a prosperous nation. The nation you fought for still exists, but only just. The citizens of that nation can now be classified into two categories. In one category are the political elites. In this class are politicians and those who have connections to the politicians. This includes family members and friends and cronies of the politicians. They get the contracts, they get the appointments, and they have the money, and they can afford to operate above the law. They are permitted to. They live in a different Ghana. Their only worry is how to continue holding on to power. And the main preoccupation for some of them is how to loot the nation so cleverly that they cannot be charged or tried for stealing from the nation. They come up with policies that make life very difficult for everyone else. And that brings me to the second category of Ghanaians, and those are everyone else. Dear founder, you would envy the ease and the affluence of those in the first category. They have the power to make life easy for Ghanaians, but they choose not to. It will distress you to know that not much has been added to the infrastructure you left us after all these years. Dear founder, the plight and the circumstances of the second category of Ghanaians will make you ask yourself whether it was worth fighting for independence. In your days, even a penny was money. Today, the average Ghanaian does not see his future in Ghana, but in a foreign land. Did you fight for independence for the Gold Coast so that Ghanaians will be compelled to abandon their families in Ghana and go slave abroad? Did you fight for independence so that Ghanaians will live as second-class citizens in their own countries? Did you fight for independence so that Ghanaians would go and line up at foreign embassies to beg and lie their way into getting visas? And now, dear founder, we have destroyed and continue to destroy our water bodies in Ghana to the point where it is feared that Ghana may have to import water in a few years. Yes, we honor you today with a holiday, but we dishonor your legacy every day. Can you please forgive us? And can you find a way of helping us find the wisdom to understand that stealing from our country does not make us rich? On this day in which we honor you, please forgive us for making nonsense of the heritage you left for us. And please pray for us that we may find the wisdom to make the sacrifices we need to make to build a stronger and more prosperous nation.
Korle-Bu there. Well, all of this is about Kwame Nkrumah, right? So why not end the story with his voice?
Some of the leaders, it must be confessed, do not see the struggle of their brother Africans as part of their own struggle. Even if they did, they would not be free to express their solidarity. These rifts are consciously created by the imperialists between Africans, where they can sit back and watch with slight satisfaction, as well as contempt for those who fail to see how they are being used against Africa's best interests.
Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah there. To other stories, the ever-worsening road conditions in the capital have reached a critical point with malfunctioning traffic lights, unlit streets and pothole-riddled roads. Drivers are forced to navigate in pitch darkness, whilst pedestrians often bear the dire consequences. Joy News editor MF Apau took a tour of some intersections and roads in the city, uncovering the daily struggles and risks faced by commuters. The probe last night on the Joy News channel highlighted the urgent need for action to address these safety concerns.
My colleague and I, that's my producer, Sarah Mabladi Souza, and myself, decided that it's a Saturday night, yet we have concerns about traffic lights, road markings, and street lights. So my colleague, Yusuf, even though he's been working the whole day, obliged to go with us, together with Abu, our driver, to go with us, drive around town on a Saturday night to take a look at what exactly the situation is and paint a better picture of how it is like to struggle in the nights when it comes to driving. I wear spectacles, so you can understand the difficulties and the challenges sometimes it takes for you to drive at night, even though we work late at night. The situation is that of sort of a grim situation. We started from the Atinka village. Right down that intersection, you realize that the traffic lights there almost never works. Straight behind me goes to Joy FM, and those of you who know it know that this is the Sadisco traffic light. It is almost a blessing for it to ever work. It never works. The same response we get all the time is, it's a technical challenge that they are trying to fix. That's the response you always get. So let's start off from this particular intersection and take a drive through part of Accra. It will be interesting to hear your story. But first, let's hear my story with a drive with a team on a Saturday night in Accra, and we'll tell you how it looks like. So our drive has now taken us all the way, I'll tell you all about it at least, from the Ring Road all the way. We are now on the Switchback Road in Cantonment. I am itching to know what the situation is, at least on the main 37 road. So we are almost at the Christ the King parish, and still no sign of any street light, but at least we are seeing some road markings on the road. It does appear that you have to pick and choose which one exactly you would want. And you can see the Jubilee House right in front of you, the seat of government. I see the traffic light working here. Road markings are also working. But see, right after the traffic light, I count 1, 2, and 3. And this is after the third traffic light, you realize that the rest all the way to the Afrikiko traffic lights, they are not working.
My colleague Michael Ashale has also been checking on the situation on the Accra-Tema motorway, and here is what he found.
This road is seen as one of the most pivotal roads. This particular section of the road leads to our biggest port. Means that all our cocoa and all our major produce that we export out of the country come along this way. It's nearly impossible to even see through the thickness of the dark. Not just for drivers who are using the road, but for the commuters who have to cross the road as well. But for the people who live around, they'll tell us a story briefly about how it impacts them.
It is very, very alarming and dangerous as well. I think I've been using this road almost about several years now. Motorway going to Odame, Sege, Volta region, and looking at how dangerous it is, very bad.
What is going on here? There's no street lights, and when the car was coming from Accra to Tema inside, I don't know, because sometimes there's a lot of accidents happen here at the moment, and you yourself, you'll be shocked because there's no street light. The portal
in the Ashanti region, Nana Buachi Dankwa Yadom also interacted with some road users at the Sewia intersection.
Where I am is in between the Bosomche constituency, the constituency of the Education Minister, Dr. Osei Awedutum, and then the Asokwa constituency, the constituency of the Deputy Majority Leader, Mama Pat. Now this place, this road is very dangerous to use at night. Fortunately for us, where we are currently, we cannot find a functional traffic light, we cannot find a functional street light, neither do we find any road marking so far. Now this is a dual carriage, a very huge road, and it is very dangerous to ride on this particular road at night. I mean, you've been plying the road for quite some time. Now tell me the situation in the Ashanti region, because you use most of these roads.
It's very difficult to drive at night in Ashanti region because most of the street lights are not working. Most of the traffic light bulbs are dead. In fact, driving in the night when it's raining is very difficult because there are no road markings. That's why sometimes in the morning, if you drive around town, you will see cars have been parked in the gutters. Why? Because there are no road markings, so they cannot see when you are sliding from this road to the gutter. You know, see before you realize you are in the gutter, and you have no option than to leave your car in the gutter till the next day. And probably if you leave your car there, someone will come and take your batteries and some items from your car. So it is very, very, very difficult to drive in Kumasi at night when it's raining. Very, very difficult.
Nana Boachi Dankwayadon brought us that report from the Ashanti region. Well, between January and June 2024 alone, 1,237 lives have been lost out of the 6,653 road crashes within the same period, largely due to the poor nature of the roads. Director of Regulations, Inspections and Compliance at the National Road Safety Authority, Kwame Tuahine, wants immediate audit of traffic lights done.
The last time we did the audit of the traffic lights, we gave the urban roads some 60 days to come back to us, which they did. To be honest with you, we saw some improvement at the time, but we are beginning to receive these complaints again. It is our intention to conduct some audits just to confirm where the issues are in order that we can engage them further. We take the view that it may be difficult to address all these infractions at a go. But it is also possible for us to work very closely with the agencies that have the frontline responsibility in order to prioritize the ones that we think feed into the data. These are concerns that falls directly on the laps of stakeholder institutions.
Let's also hear from Principal Research Scientist with the Building and Road Research Institute, Dr. William Accra, who attributed the lack of functional traffic lights, street lights and road markings to a disregard for safety concerns.
This is an unfortunate situation. We all drive around, and this is the daily experience. It's unfortunate that we have all the institutions, we have all the laws, we've come up with the strategies to help reduce accidents in the country. But the basic things we need to put in place, we don't take them seriously. It's unfortunate that you will construct a road which costs millions of cedis. Putting in these measures, putting in this furniture constitutes less than 10% of the cost of the total reconstruction.
And you heard the Principal Research Scientist with the Building and Road Research Institute, Dr. William Accra. Let's quickly go to the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital because this afternoon, healthcare delivery there has grinded to a halt as the Ghana Federation of Allied Health Professionals enters day 5 of their strike. My colleague, Prince Kwame Kuduga, is there and joins us live. Prince, if you can hear me, just paint a picture of the situation at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital.
Okay, so Hannah, at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital at this moment, I'm currently at the laboratory unit of the hospital. The place is as empty as it can get, and all the people who are coming for the services at the hospital are being turned away. Now, I spoke to the allied health professionals. They told me that they are on strike, demanding that they should be given a table at the seat of decision making. They said that all effort to get the management of the hospital to get them a seat at the decision-making table have proven futile. So they will be on strike until their demands are met. They started the strike Wednesday, 31st of July. They are willing to go on until all their demands are met. So here at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital Laboratory Unit, everything is empty. People are being turned away. When you come here, you can see notices of strike, and then red flags are painted everywhere, and everywhere is empty. No services ongoing. You cannot see any official. Only a security official who is there informing people that the unit is not working because of the strike action. We are yet to speak to allied professionals to tell us what how they are dealing with the issues and also the authorities.
We'll come back to you, Prince, who is currently at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Should we hear anything from the officials to whom the demands are being made? Well, it's still the Midday News on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM. Stories gone by, you heard NDC flag bearer John Mahama vowing to reinstate Republic Day as a holiday, challenging the Akufo-Addo's Founders Day designation, and the CPP insisting no amount of rejection by President Akufo-Addo can change the fact that is known to the whole wide world. When we come back, we'll take you to where season 2 of the biggest culinary TV show in Ghana is currently having its auditions.
This is what the Olympics is all about. Get closer to split-second wins. Closer to history in the making. Closer to your champions.
The greatest athletic achievements of all time.
Get DSTV to get closer to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games from 26 July to 11 August with 9 dedicated channels for the best coverage of every medal and every podium moment. On Supersport on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The luckiest. Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers.
You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest. East, west, north, south,
you could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
Accra to Haga.
Let's go. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers. The luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
Welcome back. Muftau is with me here with sports, and I must ask you, do we have some good news apart from the two bad ones we had earlier?
The country never had a deliberate plan to have good news in the Olympics, so that is why we do not have good news. And the country will be switching its focus to the 4x1, which is happening on Thursday after Azamati and Samini were unsuccessful in their attempts to make it to the semi-final of the men's 100 meters.
I don't know what to say about it. This semi-final, but it's a great experience for me right now as an Olympian representing my country, Ghana. I'm proud to represent Ghana. This is a huge experience running against the big guys. So this gave me all the experience for the next chapter. So now we just move forward to the 4x1 and see. On your marks, I was cool, but the set position set. Then I see my hands shaking. I was like, yeah, it's in again. But we have to do what we're supposed to do. Yeah, I move out with them. I didn't get a quick start that I wanted, but I executed all my efforts. I came, I think, 7th. Some best people didn't make it. They hope for the next time, but now we just move forward for the 4x1.
And you said this is all due to lack of preparation?
Poor preparations, because the person who won a bronze medal in the women's high jump did 1.95 and Rose does 1.97. But unfortunately, due to lack of preparations, she couldn't cross that bar.
We have the next 4 years to prepare. To our election headquarters now. The governing New Patriotic Party says all is set for the launch of its 2024 manifesto, which is scheduled to take place in Takoradi in the Western region. My colleague Samuel Imbura of our political desk joins me in the studio with some details. When exactly is this happening, Samuel?
It is happening on the 18th of August in Takoradi, where an 11-member committee has been set up and chaired by Madame Oboshe Sai-Kofi to oversee the planning and execution of the party's launch of its 2024 manifesto. The party is congratulating the committee and expressing confidence in its ability to deliver on its mandate in the supreme interest of the New Patriotic Party.
Well, we also know the flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia, is touring the Eastern region. Give us some details.
Exactly. So the tour of the Eastern region started on Friday. Currently, the Vice President is back to the Accra here for equally important activities so far as his role as Vice President is concerned. The tour continues on Friday, where he'll be moving from the Eastern region to other parts of the region or other parts of the country to propagate his campaign messages.
Much Samuel Imbura. Unfortunately, we can go to why in the Upper West region where the Big Chef is taking place. Auditions are ongoing, and we'll bring you all details on the Joy News channel as well as here on My Joy FM and on myjoyonline.com. Thank you so much for joining us for the Midday News. My name is Hannah Odame.